Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Give us our life and our health and our strength, allow us to do what we do on a daily basis. Let me scan this crowd and see how many people I know. You know, I see some people I don't know. It's always good to see people you don't know. That's great, but it's always great to see people you do know. A couple of people in here that I've been acquainted with for a while. Marcus Kinley knew me way back. I'm talking about when I had hair. Way back. He was chairman of the Guilford County Party. He was, what's up, Wayne?
I wanted him to sit down so he wouldn't block it behind him.
Oh.
Yeah, he's here to do video and record you. So.
Oh, okay. Great. Maybe some of my stuff will get used in John Stein's ad. But yeah, Marcus was the chairman of the party. I was young and had hair. He was one of the very first Republicans that I met. That was way back when I actually learned what the difference between Republicans and Democrats. Good to see you here, sir. After I gave the city council speech, one of the very first people that I came in contact with came home, his card was on my door. Lee Hayward over there, he wanted to talk to me, he wanted to find out if I was a Republican. Yes, I was a Republican. I've been a Republican my entire ever since my political awakening, I'll say.
You might say I invented him.
Michael Logan, good to see you, Lee. Michael Logan, school board member, here running for school board, right?
Yep.
Again, so yeah, Michael's here. Vernon Robinson, first time I saw him, you were running for Senate or Congress?
I was trying to get you to run against Tillis.
No, that was way back when you were running yourself. You were running for Senate or Congress?
So that was Congress.
He was running for Congress the first time I met him with a buddy of mine named Wayne Campbell. Then I got Pastor Fred Daniels here. We've been friends for a while now, and guys, you know, it's just a special group of people inside this room right now. So, you know, I can talk about a whole lot of things right now, but man, we all know what's going wrong.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what's going right. Let's talk about what's going right now in North Carolina. Folks, with everything that we could say bad about the government response to this hurricane, let's not focus on it. Let's focus on what went right.
Yeah.
Guess what went right?
Yeah.
You did.
Every day.
You did. The people went right. The people did the right thing. The people didn't sit around and wait for the governor to declare the state of emergency. The people didn't sit around and wait for FEMA to show up with trucks. The people didn't sit around and wait for instructions. The people knew there was a need, and the people stepped up and are stepping up and continue to step up. You want to know what kind of state we live in right now? Take a look at what you and your fellow citizens are doing for the people of Western North Carolina. That will answer your question. They're doing great work, folks, and I mean way beyond or above and beyond what they should be doing or normally do. 55 civilian helicopters running out of Hickory Airport, running supplies, picking people up, rescuing people, delivering medicines, searching for people. I mean, you go to this place, it looks like a government operation. I mean, it looks like an army operation. They've got a hospital, they've got a pharmacy, they've got a food bank. And guess what? It's all civilian volunteers. Some of those pilots are paying $50,000 to $60,000 a day to run those helicopters in and out of areas that nobody else can get to. That's amazing, folks. This is going to go down in history as one of the worst storms in North Carolina's history. But I guarantee it's going to go down as one of the best responses of North Carolinians ever in history. Because what the folks have done here is incredible. And here's the thing. Not saying this to tout myself. I'm saying this to tout you because we've been right there with you. Our response has been the same thing. You know, we got in contact with the governor, and when it became plain he wasn't going to contact us back, that he apparently did not want to work with us to try to help the people of Western North Carolina. We didn't worry about that. We didn't sit around wringing our hands going, well, gosh, the governor doesn't want us to help, blah, blah, blah. I don't need him. I wouldn't need him if I was a lieutenant governor to go to Food Line or go to Walmart and get a load of water to take up to those people. I wouldn't need him if I was a lieutenant governor to get in my car and drive up there and stand there and raise my hand and say, guys, I'm here to do whatever you need me to do. And we didn't need him in this case. Friday night as this storm was brewing, our governor was in New York City at a fundraiser for Kamala Harris while this storm was brewing. You know where he should have been? Here. He should have been here. You know what he should have been doing? He should have been calling the council of state saying, all of you, I don't care where you are, you get your stuff, you get here to Raleigh. We got work to do. When we got here, this is what he should have done. The reporter asked me this. He said, what would your response have been? This would have been my response. My response would have been to call the council of state, an emergency meeting of the council of state, not to issue some declaration, some state of emergency. We know it's a state of emergency. A hurricane is about to hit. We don't need to be told that. We don't need to vote on that. We should have met at that office. We should have sat there. If it had been me, and I would have looked at the council of state, and this is what I would have told them. I would have said, guys, I know you're running campaigns. I know you got campaign events to go to. But now, right now is the time to make up your mind whether or not your campaign for your election is more important than the campaign to save the people of Western North Carolina. Amen. That should be the one thing we're all doing. Before we got there, I would have had the state already gridded off into 9 or 10 corridors, whatever you want to call it. And each council of state member would have been given one of those corridors, and they would have been the leader in that corridor to lead the fight, to bring the resources necessary to this state. Every single solitary council state member should have been energized, invited to the table. And the statement that needs to be made is this: when the chips are down and disaster strikes, politics goes out the window. I don't care whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, an independent, a communist, or a socialist, I don't care what y'all. Politics go out the window. Because guess what? That storm wasn't asking people whether or not they were Republican or Democrat while they were washing the house away. That storm wasn't asking people how they felt about certain issues before it blew in and tore the house off the foundation. It didn't care. It affected all of us. You see, now is the time to tell what your elected officials are made out of.
Yes, sir.
Are they political people who look at a disaster and say, well, how can I play this to my campaign just to benefit me just enough so I can get reelected? How can I get this to play in the hands of the guy or girl that I don't like? How can I shove that person out and pull this person in and move this person around? I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all something right now. I am not a politician and don't ever want to be called one. I am an elected official. That's what I am. Politicians tend to be sneaky, conniving people who climb the political ladder, who try to get to their next seat and don't care anything about the people they are trying to serve. That's a politician. Josh Stein is a politician. Tell me what Josh Stein has ever done for the people of this state. Josh Stein loves to be on the commercial. He's got a new commercial, so he sends people to film it so he can get my, yeah, I like how he said that. Write that down. We're going to say that in our next commercial. Go buy me some work clothes so I can stand in the factory and look like a regular person. You don't have to go to college to get a 4-year, you get a 4-year, you got a career. You know, that's a politician, a phony. Somebody who's got a sticker book smile that they got from the politician school. Slick, real slick. But when it comes right down to it, what have they done? What are they willing to do? What are they willing to stand up for? What do they stand for? What policies do they champion? What policies does Josh Stein champion? He doesn't talk about his entire career. I talk about my entire career. I've talked about my entire life, warts and all. And when I was getting ready to run for office, there were people that were saying, you probably shouldn't tell people that you filed for bankruptcy. Why? I filed for bankruptcy. What's wrong with that? I was dead broke. As a person, I was dead broke. They said, yeah, but you probably don't want to tell people that. They may not have confidence in you. You know what I did? I looked at them and said, well, guess what? At one point, not too long ago, the state of North Carolina itself was bankrupt. We were $6 billion in debt to the federal government. We were furloughing state workers because we couldn't afford to pay them. Teacher pay had to be frozen because we couldn't afford to give them raises. Taxes were sky high and revenue was down in the basement. Nobody wanted to come here and do business because of those things. The state itself was dead broke. And guess who was in the legislature when this happens? And see, he doesn't have to record me to get this. He knows this. Guess who was in the legislature while that was going on? A fellow named Josh Stein. He was sitting right there with his Democrat friends in the Senate and the House, and they were passing policies that had this state dead broke. Republicans took this state over in 2010. They took over the legislature. And I thank God that Republican legislature didn't just come out wildly swinging about this social issue and that social issue. They got to work on the substantive issue that we always face. And what is it? It's our economy. It's our economy. They got to work on it. Now, here 14 years later, not only are we not in debt to the federal government, not one dime, we got a $5 billion surplus and growing. We're the number 2 biggest debt. Not because of Democrat policies. It's because of conservative Republican policies. Conservative Republican policies that have principles inside of it that yield the desired result. Same way at the national level when President Trump was in office. His policies yielded the desired result. Things that Democrats said, oh, you can't do that, and that doesn't work anymore. There's no way you're going to make that happen. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's a simple principle. A nation that can fuel itself and feed itself and medicate itself and be self-sustaining. A nation that puts itself first. And there's nothing wrong with that, people. Don't let these blue-haired liberals tell you it's not. Because I can assure you of one thing right now. Before Josh Stein or Nancy Pelosi or Kamala Harris, when they get their checks, guess whose bills they pay first? Their own. They use your money to pay somebody else's bills from this country. They use their money to buy their Cadillacs and their SUVs and pay for their vacation homes. There's nothing wrong with putting America first. I guarantee you, when I get my check and it comes in the credit, my wife goes in and gets on that little computer and she starts clicking. Guess whose bill she's paying? Ours. She's not going to the neighbor saying, hey, what do you guys need? I'm paying out my husband's salary real quick. That's not how it works. It's just simple principles, folks. Simple principles like if you give people, not give, if you allow people to keep more of their money, guess what they're going to do with it? They're going to spend it. They're going to invest it. They're going to save it. They're going to start businesses with it. And guess what happens to that money? It goes right back into our revenue. By being spent, by being saved, by being invested. It helps us to grow. Governments don't grow businesses, people do. Yeah. And the investments that they make do. And so those simple principles that we put inside of policies is why we've gotten to where we are right now. Now, you mentioned the economy. I mentioned the economy. Say that's the number one issue, always. The economy is the number one issue. So people say, well, that's just one issue. What about all the rest of it? Think about this. When you think about the economy, think about it in terms of it being a single issue, but not a singular issue. Because the economy is built on pillars. And I think some of you all probably heard me say this before. But for those of you who have not, I'm going to say it again. And before I say it, I'm going to tell you something. I've been literally all across the state, and I've said this to groups like this. I've said it to television cameras, over and over. Television cameras will be in the room and will film me saying this. I don't think anybody's ever heard this on television. We'll talk about the news media in a few minutes, how terrible they are. But they never play this. We've been saying this all across the state. The economy is built on 5 pillars, folks. The 5 pillars that it's built on is public safety, public education, health care, infrastructure, and housing. Why are those the 5 pillars that the economy stands on? You guys, don't be surprised if you hear Josh Stein play this in the hand. Because I'm going to say this, if anybody's in here filming for Josh Stein, you make sure when you get back and you see him again that Mark Robinson said, he's a liar. He's a liar. He's somewhere hiding in a hole right now because he thinks he's got it made for this election. Those 5 pillars are prop up the economy because nobody wants to live in a place where you're not safe. Nobody wants to live in a place where you can't get an education or educate your children. Nobody wants to live in a place where you can't see a doctor or have decent roads or have decent housing. Now, why does that matter so much when you're talking about who the governor of this state is? Because guess what? Guess who appoints the person over the Department of Public Safety, which holds sway over public safety? Guess who appoints the people over the state school board, which holds just about all the cards of power in public education in this state? Guess who appoints the person over DHHS, the Department of Health and Human Services, that has sway over health care? Guess who appoints the person over DOT and DEQ, agencies that largely determine the success of our infrastructure and our housing? That would be the governor of this state. The governor of the state is the person that builds a team of people in this state that are ready and willing and able to ensure that our economy is strong and healthy. Now, how should that be done? Well, Mark Robinson's viewpoint on that is this. Mark Robinson's viewpoint on that is that you appoint people over those agencies that are bound and determined to see some culture change. Yeah. What do I mean by culture change? I mean simple culture change, like a guy or gal is going to go to those agencies, get everybody that works inside those agencies together and look at them and say this. You need to understand something, folks. Myself and all of you, we do not work for the state of North Carolina. We work for the people of North Carolina. And we need to behave. They are our customers. We are here to serve them. We're not here to show up on that job site and be a taskmaster. We're not here to show up on that job site to put up barriers. We're there to keep up the guardrails, to keep everybody safe, make sure people are playing by the rules, make sure people are protecting the environment, but doing it sensibly. We're there to put up guardrails, not barriers. And here's another big one. Government systems, government agencies should never be weaponized against the people. You should never have fear inside of you. If somebody shows up at your office, shows up at your construction site, shows up at your business, and you got a picture of the wrong president or the wrong politician hanging on your wall, then all of a sudden your permits are going to get held up. You're going to get held to a higher standard. You're going to have a bunch of junk piled on you because some bureaucrat in Raleigh disagrees with you politically. And that's not just for Republicans, that's Republican again. Republican, Democrat, Independent, Communist, Socialist. I don't care if you got a picture of Lenin hanging on your wall. The state of North Carolina has no business treating you unfairly because of your beliefs. And as the governor of this state, I'm going to do everything to make sure that never happens to anybody. Because once the people lose faith in the systems, then they lost faith. Why should they do it right? Why should I do it right if the only thing it's going to do is cause me misery? I went and stopped at the restroom to get gas at the state trooper hut, which is connected to the DMV. I get there, there's a long line of people outside the building. I said, what are they doing here? Oh, they're waiting to get their driver's license. Imagine that. North Carolinians who are following the law and trying to do it right, being forced to stand in the hot sun because government is inefficient. You think Walmart would make people stand outside to wait for their products? They're so desperate to get people in out there, they put them self-checkout things in there. As long as you don't steal $25, just get it done. We can absorb the cost, we don't care, just get it done. We're making out like a bandit here. Everything that they do is driven towards customer service. Amazon. There's somebody working there, tens of thousands of people are working for Amazon right now. Guess what each and every one of them is working towards? They're working towards customer satisfaction. They're working to get that whatever it is you ordered as fast as possible to you So you go right back on that computer tomorrow and get some more stuff. Because you are well pleased. I ordered my goodie cone at 12 o'clock, and at 4 o'clock it was on my door. That's what government should strive for. The folks that are doing it right, that high school student that's about to get that driver's license and has worked hard and done all the associated things to make it happen, they shouldn't have to stand outside for 3 hours to get it. That retiree that's out there to renew their driver's license and has done it for 30, 40 years, they shouldn't have to wait but scant minutes to get that thing. We should do everything in our power to make sure that our state agencies are giving the advantages to the people that do it right. And by and large, everybody, that's what most of the people in this state are doing. Now, we talked about those 5 pillars and how we can make them healthy through our state agencies and all that good stuff. Let's talk about one in particular, actually 2 in particular. Let's talk about public safety. Now public safety has gone down the rabbit hole, folks. You know, the dumbest thing that I've ever heard, one of them, I don't know, because right now it seems like we're living in a stupid contest. When somebody will say something stupid, and then up and pop somebody else and go, no, that's stupid. But one of the, hands down, the dumbest, most dangerous things that I've ever heard in this country is this phrase: defund the police. Defund the police. People always want to say, well, you know, you see what happened with George Floyd. Yeah, I saw what happened with George Floyd. But you see, a wise person will look at what happened with George Floyd and understand how to respond. And this is how you should respond as an elected official. First thing you need to do is tell everybody, calm down. We're going to investigate and get to the bottom of it. The second thing you need to do is you need to call the police chief and the police department in, and you need to pull them close to you, not push them far away. And you need to ask them one question: what do I need to do to help you keep this from happening again? How do I keep your departments? How do I keep guys like this out of your ranks? How do I help you to train your officers better so that this doesn't happen? What can we do to make sure we keep bad actors from having a badge and a gun so we can avoid this happening to our citizens and in our communities ever again? You show a united front with the police. I can remember hearing a story of a young woman who disappeared. And when they ultimately found her, she had a very rich father. And when they found out what happened to her, she had been murdered by a California highway patrolman. Guess what the father did? He didn't go crazy and try to defund the highway patrol. He went to the highway patrol and offered his help and his assistance and his time and his money to give them a new plan to weed out bad actors from inside their ranks. That's the response that we need. Because guys, I want you to think about this right now. Right here in Guilford County right now, based on statistics, sometime probably the next hour or so, somebody's going to buy a dose of fentanyl that's going to kill them. Right now. Somewhere close to us. Sometime tonight, sometime tomorrow morning, some mom and dad, some husband, some wife, going to get that call that that relative is gone. Will never be coming home again because they got a hold of some of that poison. And in the midst of that, we got idiots that want to defund the police. We got people that don't want to work with ICE to ensure that our border is shut down and secure. They want to make sure that bad actors that have crossed our border for nefarious purposes are deported, got out of here. Yeah, they need to get up out of here. They need to go to prison or get up out of here, one or the other. I don't beat around the bush about saying it. It's public safety. We got to get law and order. We got to get it back, folks. And it starts with leadership, showing folks how it's done from the very top. And then the second thing, man, we really got to focus on, because this is our future, it's education. It's education. I see new faces in here, so we're going to play a game. All right? I'm going to ask a question, and if you know the answer, don't answer. I want somebody to give me a complete guess from someone who doesn't know. Our current state budget is $33.1 billion. What percentage of that do you think the state spends on public education? Somebody give me a complete guess. I got a half.
35%.
35%. 45. 10%.
55.
10, 55. I got all over the place.
61.
Say it one more time.
61.
61% of our state budget we spend on public education. 61%. That's all public education, from higher education all the way down to K through 12. And guess what? Statistically speaking, our children can't read on the grade level K through 12. That is a solid F. That's a great big flag, folks. And that is not something that I'm willing to lay on the desk of our teachers. Our teachers did not create this system. They did not create the situation that they're working in. Most of them are great people doing a Herculean job under some very difficult circumstances. A lot of them are taking money out of their meager salaries to pay for stuff we should be providing them with. They're not paid well. They're not respected. They're not protected. It's not their fault. It's the fault of an education bureaucracy in this state that is bloated, disjointed, and doesn't play well with others. And needs some real change at the top.
Amen.
And again, the governor can do that. I can do that immediately in January. I can make a change, a substantive change in education at the very beginning. Because guys, we got to get back to real education, classical education, reading, writing, and mathematics, civics and history. We got to get agendas out of the classroom, DEI, CRT. It's got to go, folks. It's got to go. Got to start getting our children career ready. Notice the phrase that I use, career ready. You will probably hear that in the Josh Stein ad next week. Career ready. That means that when you come out of K through 12 education, you are ready for whatever you want to pursue. If it requires a 4-year degree, so be it. If it requires community college, which by the way, the quickest way, 6 figures right now, is a community college degree, I guarantee you, in the trades. If you're going into the United States military, you're ready. If you're going to the family business or your own business, a K through 12 education should get you career ready to pursue your happiness once you leave that 12th grade education. Second thing, folks, this is the big. Parents, not bureaucrats, not systems, should hold sway over their children's educational destiny. You know, it sickens me when I think about the fact that we have politicians like Josh Stein who think they're smarter than the parents who sit in homes with their children tonight. It's sickening. It's disgusting. His homeboy, Roy Cooper, sat in a school board meeting one time. Came there when we expanded vouchers, give everybody opportunity scholarships in the state. Sat there and declared a state of emergency for public schools. Oh, it's a state of emergency for public schools because the wicked Republicans want to give the poor people a chance to go to private schools. And he literally sat on his behind and said this, my daughter goes to a private school, but I can afford it. Well, Mr. Cooper, I guess you don't think the people that live down in the housing project should have that option, do you? Guess you don't think the people who live over in the trailer parks should have that option. I guess you don't think the struggling single mom who's working 2 jobs, that doesn't make the money that you make, doesn't have the resources you make. I guess you think her child should just stay in that failing public school. And should just miss all those opportunities that they could have by being able to choose what school they want to go to. Luckily, there are people in this state that don't believe that, like our legislature and like yours truly. Yeah. And we're going to fight to make sure that parents have control of their children's educational destiny, and it doesn't matter where they are, it doesn't matter where they live, it doesn't matter where they choose, because we want it to be up to them to choose their children's destiny. Because governments don't build governments don't build communities, and governments don't raise children. I told somebody one time government couldn't make a decent ham sandwich. After the ham, you're going to end up with turkey. After the turkey, you're going to end up with something else. Who knows? Governments need to step back. We need to step back and realize what our role is. And what our role is to be facilitators of success and to be servants to the people. And that's exactly what we need to do. We've seen this during this storm. We've tried to do everything that we can, bring these services to the people. And the last thing I'm gonna say to y'all is this. I don't think I said it. But I want y'all to take a look and imagine what would have happened. The kind of state that could have been made up in Western North Carolina if Mark Robinson and Roy Cooper were standing together on the back of a pickup truck unloading water for the people in North Carolina. Imagine that picture. That's right. And I'm willing to stand there with him and do it. 'Cause I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Roy Cooper. I don't care if it's Josh Stein. I don't care who it is. Anybody willing to do what's right for the people of this state, I'm with them. Yeah. And at this crucial time, what we need to show, we don't need to play politics. What we need to do, we need to stand up and show some unity. And show people that despite our political differences, we can get along on a personal level, we can get along on a professional level, and we can always stand up and do what's right. Because ultimately, that's what this is about. It's about doing what's right. Not right for me, right for the people of this state. God bless y'all. Thank y'all so much.